this. I don't want to. You can't even see what I'm doing anyhow.
I can see a little bit.
Yeah, I know, but I'm if I want to hide it, I can really hide it. Okay.
I'll read. Alrighty. Okay. Welcome to Talk to Ya, the father and daughter podcast you've never heard of nor asked for. I'm Ari.
And I'm the father, Aaron.
The Son and the Holy Spirit.
There you go.
It's May 30th today, Tuesday.
Which means National what?
Yeah, that's right. We got something for you. It's National Hole in a Bucket Day. Now, I did some research on this, and it is allegedly a song by an older folk artist named Hank Williams, not the painter. Or is it Paint? Is it Paint Hank Williams?
Hold on.
Isn't that Paint?
Hold on. There was a country singer named Hank Williams. And a very famous country singer.
Okay, let me just...
It must be Hank Williams, the country singer.
Yeah.
He was
I thought
like,
you were being facetious because
no.
folk.
He was. I mean, in the probably top 3 country singers ever.
Well, there you go. Yeah, he has a song called "Hole in a Bucket," and that's what today is about. I guess the song and the concept. Metaphorically, I guess we can figure out what that means, but.
Right.
If you're taking it as literal as we like to take it, it's just a non-usable bucket.
Well, it has some use.
Okay, not non-liquid use. Let's put it that way.
There you go. A great pot for plants.
That's true.
Right? Water.
Depending on the hole.
Well,
depending on the hole. Where the hole is.
Hole might be too big, might be too small. They never. There. It's Biden calling. I got to make another decision.
Yeah. We're on to him, right?
Spend the $70 billion. All right, go ahead.
Don't let him know about the hole in a bucket.
Right.
And I listened to the song right before we got on here, and it's just him repeating the word or the phrase "hole in a bucket" with his twangy voice.
Yeah, so it is Hank Williams. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm sorry that we can't present a
Something
national
better.
day that's funny. But I mean, there's only so much you can do because the other choices were even worse.
Yeah, we're fighting for our lives over here.
For national whatever. And we're not going to lie. We're not going to lie and say, take one from like yesterday or tomorrow and claim
yesterday
it's
was
today.
Memorial Day. That's a real holiday, right?
Right. And I bet you they have National Memorial Day.
I mean, that's what it is. That's exactly what that is. But that was yesterday, and we're focused on today.
That's right.
And it took a lot for us to come out here and say this. Hole in a bucket is actually what they called me in high school, so it has some triggers. But I'm a reporter, okay? Facts over feelings, and we had to state the facts today. Today's the day.
That's funny. I'd say hole in the head. But I don't know.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Anyway, that's congratulations to the people that have buckets that have holes in them.
Yeah, congratulations to Hank Williams, I guess.
I don't believe Hank is with us. Oh, wait.
He's in our hearts.
I know this is going to sound crazy. Have you ever heard? Have you ever heard of Hank Williams Jr.?
You know what? I actually think that might have been the guy, though.
Boom. That's the son. So isn't that funny that you don't know Hank Williams, which I understand why you don't.
Yeah.
But Hank Williams Jr. sounds familiar because he is more recent.
Well, no, I think that's the hole in the bucket guy because I remember Hank Williams wasn't the full...
Hank Williams Jr. did the bucket thing?
I don't know. I didn't research well enough. I just saw the name Hank Williams and there maybe was a junior. Now that you say that sounds a little more accurate because I'm like, yeah, I don't think it was just Hank Williams. You know what I mean? I think there was either a middle name or what do you call it?
Or a junior.
A sub, what do you call those? A sub.
A suffix?
Suffix,
no,
suffix.
A suffix, right?
There you go.
Yeah.
Mr. Grammar. No Kelsey.
I saw my doctor, by the way. He says, keep going, baby. No, he told me. He told me, hey, best thing if you have to drink any of this crap, this is the best thing.
Yeah.
And my doctor he's 65. The guy looks great. He's about 145 pounds or something. This guy.
Jesus Christ.
I think he's sick.
Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah, listen, I don't know what you did to convince him that you're incapable of drinking normal water, but I'm happy for you that this works.
Again, I've always said it's not his preference, but he's happy I'm putting liquid down.
No one's preference. It's environmentally harming, not just to yourself, but the world. But yeah, I mean, it's fine. I'm glad. As long as your pee is clear, my conscience is clear.
Okay, good. I got to tell you what happened last week.
Talk to me.
Oh, man, allergies.
Ugh, don't get me started.
Plumbing.
Yes.
Not mine.
Okay.
Not mine.
Thank God.
Okay.
Thank God.
We've had that discussion.
And that issue, yes.
Oh, the guy that's down at the end of the sewer line, that only works for me and shovels just my stuff out?
Yeah, right.
He's in the hospital. They don't know what the problem is. It's some sort of very strange disease.
Something very septic related.
Exactly. Okay. In one of my buildings, the laundry machines were backing up. Okay. And so first we sent out the laundry guy who's really good at
We like the laundry guy.
We like that guy. And he says it's not the machines, it's the plumbing. The plumbing is too small. So when two machines are draining at the same time,
right,
too much water going down the drain, it backs up. This is what he says. So I said, great. So I sent out the plumbers. So the plumbers go out there and they ream the line. They go, Aaron, the line is clear. However, yeah, the two lines could be made bigger, but we don't really know that, in fact, that's the problem, but the lines are clear.
Right.
So I go back to the laundry guy and I says, plumber's telling me the lines are clear.
So what's the truth?
Plumber's telling me to think. So I want you guys, to date, lunch, dinner, whatever you want, and you talk about it and you come up with a conclusion because both of you are telling me to. Finally, I say to them, hey, you know what? Did you take that snake all the way out to the street? I mean, all the way out there. Well, I'm not sure. Let me find out. Well, we went pretty far. No, they didn't go all the way out. All right. So they go back out. They go all the way out. And they find a pair of panties in the sewer line.
Did they take a whiff?
Okay, look. First of all, as a property manager, as a responsible property manager, I should write a building-wide email, right?
Right.
Like you get,
with a picture saying, "Whose are these?"
Well, I mean, there's a million ways to approach this, right? There's the way I'd like to approach this, which is the following. One of you people, and I'm not going to say man or woman because, hey, guys wear that shit too. You know what I mean?
Anyone wears that.
One of you people.
Wait, let me pause, and I'm not going to grab my sign because it's too far right now. Yeah. Everyone wears underwear.
No.
I know these were panties.
These are panties, and they're like embroidered kind. That see-through kind of bullshit lingerie, panties.
Lingerie
on the lingerie side. In an Irish green, by the way.
Oh, wow. Beautiful.
Not too sexy. And by the way, there was shit on it, as you know, because it's going through a shit line.
Not just the skid marks, but everywhere.
So what I believe happened, and I this makes sense, is
someone just shoved them in there. No.
Yeah, some girl was over, her boyfriend. Well, who knows? Her own house. I don't even know. She shit in her pants.
Yeah.
And she decided to flush it down the toilet, and at some point it backed up the thing. Yeah. So here's the deal. What I'd like to say is one of you stupid pieces of shit threw panties down your toilet.
Yeah.
It clogged up the thing. It cost my owner several $100s, the plumber, the this, the that, the this.
Right.
And I want to know which one of you it is.
Right. One of you dirty bitches.
Right. But here's what I know in my 40 years of experience.
Right.
There will not be one person
Of
that
course
would in
not.
a million years
Of
come
course
up and
not.
say, even on a private level, Mr. Snelnikov, hey, I did this. I apologize profusely. They'll never. So the point of it is, so now what do you do? So here's what I
I
decided to do.
personally would rather walk into traffic than tell someone that that was my underwear.
Okay.
Personally.
So here's what I decided to do. I decided to write a thing that basically said, hey, we've had some problems with the laundry, and we
Yes.
discovered that there was this green lingerie that
You
somebody
specify
put down in the sewer line.
green lingerie. Looks like someone just had their period.
Shit. And so I said,
Hershey Highway and all.
I'm assuming that 99% of you had nothing to do with this, but 1% did. May I ask that 1% not to do this again? This is very bad for
Right.
the building. It could back up, blah, blah, blah. It's
Right.
holding up your fellow tenants from using the
Right.
laundry. You piece of shit. Okay. Anyway, all right.
And my assumption really is that, and I could be wrong, and I think you were on the right track here. Someone might have shit their pants a little
Yeah.
bit, right?
Yeah.
And didn't want to keep wearing them, right?
Right.
And
Right.
didn't want to throw them away
No,
because
wanted to throw them away.
No, but
Throw
it
them
wasn't.
away down the toilet.
Yeah, it wasn't their apartment. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then they said, so it's probably someone's guest, which is even worse because now you have every bachelor or bachelorette looking, saying, was that Tessa who was over the other night?
If I showed a picture of the drawers, somebody would recognize them.
Like in
That's all I know,
like
baby.
in 16 Candles, holding
Right.
in front of everyone, and they're like, wow, shit dripping from it.
I mean, but and it just goes to show you, listen, there's bad landlords. I certainly don't think I'm one of them. I think we're very good landlords, but
Well,
my point
just
is
like
there are
cops,
bad
all
landlords.
landlords are bad. But anyway,
There you go. By definition.
by definition, all landlords are bastards. But
all of
continue.
them. But this is just nasty. It's
No,
it's
that
so
is nasty. It is
and
nasty.
it's irresponsible.
Of
And it's
course.
pathetic. Okay, and the reason,
It's
okay, but
pathetic. It's
but
desperate. It's delusional.
This leads me to Vanderpump Rules, believe it or not.
Tell me how you've related this. I would like you to break this down for everyone.
Lala shit in her pants. It went down the toilet.
Never before seen.
So I'm talking to my plumber, the guy who owns the plumbing company,
Right.
after this thing is all resolved.
Trying to riff with him, right?
Trying to riff. And I said, it was the dude. I says, as you know, this is what happened, blah, blah, blah. So when you write your book,
your memoirs, your plumber memoirs.
Right. You're going to name that book. There's something about her panties. Which, as we know, is the name of Ariana and Katie's sandwich shop.
Something about
There's
her.
Something about her.
But something about her panties.
Do you understand how we could connect anything
to Vanderpump Rules?
To Vanderpump Rules.
We are obsessive, compulsive, insane, psychotic. Yeah, no, and it's true. And here's my thing. If you're watching this still,
Yeah.
and are like, are they really going to talk about Vanderpump Rules again? I'm sorry. We just have to, for a few reasons. One, we are now in the reunion, right? We've already seen the first episode. We'll get into that. But two, most importantly, I met Ariana.
Ah, there you go, baby. Talk to me, sister. Tell the folks how this happened and what happened.
So let me tell you. I see a notification on Ariana's Bravo's Instagram, I believe.
Okay.
Could be wrong. It's an Instagram of some sort. It could have been Ariana's too. So it says, I almost get chills thinking about it. It says, come and meet Ariana Madix at 9 a.m. tomorrow at Raising Cane's.
Your
My
favorite,
Mecca.
your Mecca.
That is where I go religiously. That is where I go to replenish. That is my ultimate. So the fact that not only did they pick my name twin, right? Ariana. The
Where you're going to meet her at is
my favorite place in the whole wide world. Raising Cane's. So I said, okay, cool. God's speaking to me right now. I hear you loud and clear. And it's 9 a.m. in El Segundo. The closest Cane's to me is in Burbank, which is still about a 25-minute drive. El Segundo, depending on traffic, 35 to 40 minutes.
Okay.
Not bad. But I'm still unemployed. Of course it's worth it for me to get up that early.
So you have all the time in the world.
All the time in the world, buddy. So I told myself, listen, this is a very cool opportunity. You don't want to miss it. But also, just let yourself wake up tomorrow, see what happens. I wake up, when I tell you my timing it couldn't be more perfect, because as soon as I get there, which is, I want to say 8:58, right? Right before 8:58, right before it's supposed to start. You'd think there'd be a long line. Nope. The line is actually outside the store itself. People got out of their cars because they want to, I was physically
see her,
but
touch her possibly.
Unlike them, I read between the lines. I saw that she was working the drive-through at 9 a.m. So I said, oh, I'm staying in my car. I'm getting in this drive-through. I was second in line.
Which is better than first, because the first, she doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know what to do.
There's so much pressure.
The second, it's like, oh, baby, I'm into it.
We've established, right? So, she gets there, and it's great because I know when she gets there, when that crowd outside starts cheering, and I'm like, okay, perfect. We're golden. We're good as gold. And
first of all, to be second in line at Cane's on any day, anytime is unbelievable.
Alone.
And number two is this. Let's just let the people know who like other, Popeyes or I don't even want to say the word Kentucky Fried Chicken, but I just did. All these different chicken places. Right. Besides, I'm talking about franchise. I mean, corporate, not individual. The best chicken. The best.
Because they're tender. They're tenders, and they use
juicy,
the tenderloin of the chicken, which is the middle chest part.
Which in all these years, and I'm a barbecuer.
Yeah.
But I'm not a brain surgeon on this.
Of course.
I had no idea that's what it was called.
You're no meat freak.
I'm not a meat freak in any way, shape, or form.
You were in college, but we all were.
Right.
So
anyway,
yeah, no,
that is a great place. Okay, so go back to now you're second in line.
She gets in there,
driving up.
She's establishing. I'm getting everything ready. They have the people come up to me who work for Cane's social media team, and they say, are you ready to meet her? Blah blah blah. They have me sign a release form because there's filming and all these other things, and then also they give me Cane's merchandise. So I got this sequined Cane's pencil pouch and sunglasses, and it was so cute. And then also they gave me a free meal. So the meal that I was getting there, which I was perfectly intending on buying,
right?
They gave it to me for free, like a card to pay for it for free. And I was like, I couldn't think of a better morning. So
hold on. So did Ariana's people have to pay for that chicken? I'm just kidding.
No.
I know they did.
Yeah, it was Cane's.
I know they didn't.
Actually, and I'll get into
it's a great thing for Cane's and a great thing for
why I knew she wasn't in on it. Because also the team was like, hey, when you see her, you should take a little TikTok with her. They kind of did the we're asking, but you should. And I'm like, you don't have to ask me twice.
In a New York second.
Yeah, right. I'm like, duh. So, I pull up. And they have, Cane's, they have these funny little phrases, it's like slap my titties and call me Sally, but not that, it's like.
I didn't know that, and I've been there, but I haven't.
It's like this, I forgot what she even said, but it was really funny. It's like the sauce
On the microphone.
yeah,
On
the sauce is, whatever, and blah blah blah. I can't even.
Okay.
And then,
Yeah.
and she was even giggling while saying it because she knew how silly it was, and I was like giggling with her. And so I ordered my meal, and now this is, of course, I have to include this part. I'm like, of course, a little bit not nervous, but there's like already people filming me while I'm ordering. I'm a little bit. I want to make sure there's a good rapport between me and her. And,
I'd say so.
and of course, my Cane's order, I don't eat the coleslaw. So I always get double toast. But I'm thinking now, I'm like, why did I have to customize the order whatsoever? Because it's her working it. You know what I mean? And it just makes it more difficult for her. But I think they had someone back there doing it. So of course
somebody, all they do is hand her the bag,
I
and she goes,
know.
"Okay, your chicken liggles are here." And you're,
But it was like she sounded confused first when I was like, yeah, no slaw, and I'm like, also it's Cane's filming me. I'm disrespecting their coleslaw by saying no coleslaw. You know what I mean? I just felt like I was doing something a little too. I felt like I was in a Curb episode.
Risque.
I felt like I was in a Curb episode. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I was just
a little
going downhill here. But anyway, it was fine. And then when she asked for my name, of course, I'm giggling.
Wait.
God damn it. Say your piece, but please let me tell this story eventually.
I'm going to let you.
Are you?
When you went to give them your order, do you say your name?
Dad, you are pissing me off right now.
Why?
I'm trying to tell you this story, and you're not letting me.
Tell the story.
You're trying to tell the story better than me, and you're not.
First of all.
No, you know what? Put it away.
What does that mean? I don't even know what that means.
You've lost your sign privileges. Zip it. Also, here's my second thing. If you slam on that desk one more time, I'm quitting. I'm quitting this podcast with you. I am PO'd. I will tell you 8 million times. We were messing with the TV before you even got here. You know the sound is sensitive, and you are banging like a gorilla.
I can't hear you. Go ahead.
So zip it. That's exactly what I was going to get into.
Yes, go ahead.
Her bringing up my name, but of course, you just had to. You can't help yourself, can you? You can't help yourself.
I just want the people to understand.
Of course, they can't understand it if you're talking over me, okay? This isn't The View. We don't have this audio and editing skill to edit out our chirping over each other.
They don't even have the editing skills. Go ahead.
So yes, as I was going to say, she asked for my name.
Yeah.
And I giggle. And I say, my name also happens to be Ariana.
Oh,
she goes, oh, no way. I love that. She goes, cool name, but she's giggling. I think her and I have the same level of what I like to call cute awkwardness, where we both have the little bit of social anxiety, but it's enough where it's charming to most.
That is a very great.
Charming and disarming.
Very great definition of you in so many ways.
Thank you. I know myself pretty well. And when I see myself in queens like Ariana, I can recognize. Queens recognize queens. And then, that was another thing. She goes, see you soon, Ariana. I say, see you soon, my queen, which got a giggle from everyone, So
now we're into slavery. All right, go ahead. I mean, my queen? Or is that just like an English thing? But no, I know it's a thing you kids. I know it's the thing you kids say all the time. Actually, king, queen, king, queen.
Let me break that down for you because this is where we get this generational differences. If you are acknowledging someone with royalty, right? It's king, queen. It used to be princess, but princess is what you call, I would say, someone younger than you, or arguably more like docile than you. So if you're the same age as someone and, you're a more like dominant figure and they're more like, shy and quiet, I think it's reasonable to call them princess if you're on that level. But a king or a queen is implying, I see you and I honor you. And it is intended to be an exaggeration. It's almost, it's using what also my generation calls Riz, which is short for charisma. You know, it's like it's game. It's game. When you have game, it's like queen, king. So you're either doing that if you're admiring someone romantically, or like, you know, if you are empowering your friend.
Ergo, you called her
I
queen.
called her queen because queens recognize queens. So
All right, now let me ask you one more quick question.
Okay.
Is she queen or is she your queen? I'm just asking.
I did say my queen. Maybe that was a little too possessive of me. But I think perhaps, I don't want to make assumptions, but that level of affection isn't too overfamiliar to use in this setting. I could be wrong. Because
You're right.
I have
You're right. Continue.
I have somewhat of a parasocial relationship with her, so I understand I have a bias. But okay, so I pull up, and of course, to my satisfaction, let's put it, I see the group of cameras and paparazzi. My time to shine. Time for my celebrity. So I have my window down, so I'm listening to how the first interaction is going, right? Pretty good. She gets a selfie with her, so I already know she's cool with the selfie situation. You know what I mean? And so then it's my turn to pull up. And it's so funny. As I'm pulling up, the girl on my left who's filming it is from Canes. Like, she's from the Canes team, and she's kind of prepping me. And then we got all the camera people. You know, it's Extra, TMZ. I don't want to assume, but maybe Bravo may be filming, you know, for her. I don't know. And then other people, you know, all these people, and they're asking, like, are your windows down? Like, make sure we can get a clear shot type of thing. And I'm like, yeah, how's my hair look? And so I get my phone. I already, like, I didn't want to, like, already be like, hi, you know, I had just recording the initial interaction, which is her going, order for Ariana. And I go, hi, Ariana, you know, and of course I can't help myself. I see how flawless she looks. Literally, it's a gloomy day. She's glowing. She is glowing. I don't know how it's possible to glow that much in the gloom, but Miss Madix did it. So, of course, that first thing I say, other than hi, Ariana, is, oh my God, you're beautiful. And she goes, you know, thank you, you're beautiful. And I almost said, you don't have to say that, but thank you. I was wearing my, like, trucker hat. You know, I was not, I should have dressed cuter, but I was like, that's not what I'm here for. And, of course, she, you know, gets the order. And, like, you know, I first ask, I say, you know, you cool with the TikTok? And she didn't hear me. She's like, huh? And I'm like, oh God, I have to repeat this. I have to say this again. And I go, a TikTok, how cool are we with that? And she was like, sure. And she almost is like, what am I, like, I can see on her face, like, oh God, what do I have to do? Because that is high pressure for a video. Selfie's one thing. And so I explained to her, I'm like, you know, there's that sound. It's a Nicki Minaj going, Ariana, what are you doing here? And it's Nicki Minaj talking to Ariana Grande. You know, she's going, Ariana, what are you doing here? So I'm like, how do we feel? She's like, cool. So I take my TikTok. She looks stunning and living her best life in it. She almost forgets to charge me for it, which I also love, because that means we were very in the moment, you know? But she didn't, and that's how I knew that she didn't know about the free card, because I just handed her the, like, free meal card. And we were good. I got a selfie with her. And then I also had to make sure to let her know, because I'm a Cancer, she's a Cancer, had to make sure she was taken care of today. I said something along the lines of, I hope today is stress-free and you get time to relax, because it was the first night, it was reunion day. So it was probably very emotionally overwhelming for her. So I'd like to think that she appreciated that. But yeah, it was probably an overwhelming day for her. I think I lucked out probably more than most people, even though some people really who stood outside got to hug her and get, you know, more. That moment I had captured got on her Instagram, the Canes Instagram.
There you go.
The TikToks, all of it. And the fact
it got onto all of them.
And it was such a tender moment. I got it from every angle. I got it from my angle, from her angle, from this angle.
Right. We saw it on Extra.
If there was oh yeah, you saw it on Extra. TMZ.
We saw it. Yeah, there's my little baby girl talking. And listen, I mean, she had makeup on, of course. I get that, but let me tell you something. She
good as
looked
hell.
Beautiful.
So good.
She looked happy.
Yeah, she seemed happy.
Her teeth, even though I guess they're not all hers. I don't know. They're beautiful.
No, I
They're
they
like
seem like her teeth. She just
stunning.
probably just got them,
No, capped, whatever. They're
yeah.
beautiful teeth, and she just seemed happy.
Yeah.
Like content,
Great
like
energy.
content.
And like I said, I can tell there was some feeling of overwhelm, but not in a bad way. I think she was like so just like, I honestly think she probably couldn't believe the crowd at first because, with BravoCon, Watch What Happens or events like that, she knows that they're centered around like not just her, but other people, right? Um, and with this situation, this was like strictly just about her. And I think it was probably really like nice for her to kind of see that support and how much people were so excited to just see her and her only. I could be wrong, but maybe she's gotten glimpses of that since Scandival, but I can just tell she was so like almost like it was like surreal for her.
She has 1,000,008 followers.
Yeah.
That's strong as Lysol.
Yeah.
Okay. Two is she's a sweet person. She's a kind person.
So sweet, so kind, great energy.
And she deserves everything she gets, including Dancing with the Stars,
yes.
it looks like. What she has an Uber commercial with Sheena
Lala
and
Sheena.
Lala. And it's a great commercial. It's Sheena's shitty ass song that turned out great in this commercial.
Okay, I'm gonna shut this down real quick.
You love that song.
Good as Gold is pop genius. If you break down pop formula, what that song is, other than the song itself, where it comes from, the history, where it's gone, all collectively, Good as Gold. A lot of people are gonna hate me for this one. I'm gonna get a lot
they're not gonna. I'm gonna get
a lot of haters. A lot of haters. Maybe death threats.
Yeah.
It is what I consider to the level of Stars Are Blind by Paris Hilton, Rumors by Lindsay Lohan, Come Clean by Hilary Duff. When you have that kind of pop icon making a song that not only is objectively catchy, right? We don't have to say it's good.
It's catchy.
We don't have to say it's good. Okay, it's not musical
It catches
genius.
herpes. It catches. No, go ahead.
It catches the clap and the clap.
I mean, come on. Sheena has more fingerprints on her than the FBI. Okay, so let's just straight up saying
no shaming.
That this,
no shaming, because also her history is pretty iconic. Okay, she had a throuple situation with John Mayer. I think that's a pretty
who was the other thrup?
Who was the thrip? It was a former coworker, not from Villa Blanca. This was like way before, but
yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
you're right.
I mean, listen, Sheena, for me,
I love Sheena.
We love
the
Sheena.
Poor thing.
She
means well.
She means well.
And you know what? Since she's been a mother,
I love her so much more.
And since and listen, whatever they love each other. They seem to have a good marriage. They have a cute little baby.
I'm not
God bless them.
Too much about it. Let's put it that way. My conscience isn't heavy on it. Whatever happens.
No, listen. I mean, it's not going to take.
And I love seeing Good as Gold come back because let me tell you, anytime I hear that song, it activates a level of serotonin in me that like a lot of things can. And it's also the level of nostalgia. There's nostalgia tied to it. But and when she performed it at BravoCon, iconic.
Okay, listen. The commercial's great.
Incredible. They look so good.
They look fantastic, all three of them.
And they look so happy.
They're okay. So Ariana's got that commercial.
Right.
She has a commercial for razor blades for women.
She's got beverages. She's got
a sex thing commercial.
Oh yeah.
Like some sort. But anyway, I think she has 9.
Bag.
Yeah, and listen, I know she knows 15 minutes of fame. Like, let's get going and put the accelerator as much as you possibly can.
She needs to move out, first of all. She needs a new home. She needs...
Okay, look. Let's discuss that. And, we're into this for 35 minutes already. We haven't even gotten to Vanderpump Rules.
The episodes, I know.
Okay, but look. You cannot live with this guy.
No.
You need to
get out
either
ASAP.
move his ass out or you move out.
Right.
This idea of you two doing this, even though you're not there at the same time,
no, I know.
And I understand.
And listen,
I understand. There's a little financial stress here.
Not
I get
just
that.
Not just that. I understand the point where she is not trying to make things more Uh,
Worse than they are.
exactly, and
It's not a divorce.
no, but I know, but the thing is, and I understand
No,
she's
I'm
trying
saying
to.
it's not a
Oh yeah, yeah,
divorce.
yeah. It's exactly. So it's like she's trying to like also at the same time knowing how much unfortunately power Sandoval had over her during the relationship. That doesn't just go away once you break up. You know what I mean? Even if you hate him, right? And even if you're doing so much better than him, there's still unfortunately, and she's no sociopath, so yes, she has feelings. A 10-year
Yeah.
relationship, you can't just say, you know, au revoir. You can't let and you. There's some still level of respect she probably has, which is, you know,
I think they love each other.
respectable
Don't
for
get me.
her to have. I think if
Yeah.
anything, you know, it shows what kind of person she is in terms of being not, I don't want to say reasonable, but understanding and not trying to be vindictive this entire thing.
Well,
She's
honey,
not trying to
listen.
put onto him what he put onto her. She's just trying
Huh?
to get through it, which I really
Yeah. Okay.
respect.
But she had talked shit, which she was right
Which
about
I was gonna say,
in this sit down, which we're going to talk
talking
about.
shit though
That we're
is
going to
very
talk about.
different from taking someone's house away from them. You know what I
No,
mean?
no, 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 no. Listen, there are legal ways of getting that house sold.
I know,
I
but all
assume
I'm saying,
both of them want to sell the goddamn house. So
yes,
get out of the house and
I
sell the
agree, but
house.
all I'm saying, and I'm not justifying it or saying I would do the same thing. All I'm saying is I understand the position she's in. I'm not gonna hate or judge on it, and I'm going to, you know, she knows more than we do.
She knows more
So
than we
don't
do.
even think, okay, about disrespecting my queen again. Or we're gonna have an issue.
All right,
Let's talk reunion.
let's talk. No, no, let's talk the
Oh, the
final
finale. Yeah,
episode.
yeah, yeah,
But we're gonna, we're gonna have to move through this pretty
yeah.
quickly,
We
okay?
can, yeah.
And I'm looking through my notes here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm gonna read. You can comment, blah blah blah.
Am
But
I
anyway,
allowed to speak?
you're
Wait,
allowed to
actually,
speak
hold on.
when I say so.
I'll have my signs ready.
Okay, all right. I may be reading, and I may not see the sign at the same
You'll
time.
ignore
So
it.
if there's a little bit of a difference, don't
Okay.
worry. The last episode opens up with Raquel and Sheena
Mm-hmm.
on the Andy show,
Right.
and when they talked about who was more attractive, I don't know what the exact
Who's
question
more
was.
attractive, Schwartz or Sandoval?
Sandoval or Schwartz?
They both say Sandoval
Sheena,
at the same time.
yes, yes. Okay, so Sheena kind of took note of that in a bizarre
Everyone
way.
did.
Because she'd already kissed Tom Schwartz.
And I remember that night so distinctively because I remember watching it and being like, I didn't think of it, but I was like, Schwartz must have done something bad, and now she's going to try and go after Sandoval. That was my thought. But within 24 hours, that's when we found out about Sandoval. So I didn't even go through with that thought fully. You know what I mean?
So here's what happens. After the show,
yeah,
Raquel gets a call from Ariana.
Real quick. Before any of this, by the way, they start the episode, I think, flawlessly. And it's Tom and Ariana, right? And it's both of them in the confessional. And it's the producer going, "Are you ready?" And it's both of them at the same time going, "No." But Sandoval's like, "No." And Ariana's like, "No." Full smile. And then that's when they get into the Watch What Happens bit.
So what happens is Raquel calls up. Well, wait.
No,
wait,
Ariana calls Raquel.
Ariana calls up Raquel. Why does she call up Raquel? Because that night, Ariana was at and where was that? Do you know where that was?
I think it was in the Valley. It was one of Sandoval's shows.
Sandoval's band was playing.
And his phone fell out of his pocket.
Ariana was in the audience. His phone fell out of his pocket. And he and somebody picked it up and gave it to Ariana. And Ariana just had a gut feeling she should look at. And what did she see?
She sees a screen recorded FaceTime of Raquel and Sandoval diddling their own fiddles.
So she then calls up. First of all, she brings before she called up Raquel. I believe she took Sandoval outside after the gig, or I'm not sure.
They actually really didn't get into that moment itself, but basically I know. I don't even think I could be wrong. I don't even think. I think Sandoval was
I don't
still
remember they talked
performing.
about.
I think Sandoval was
Well, no,
still
that I
off.
know, but
So I think she
anyway,
actually did call Raquel first.
she calls Raquel, and Raquel, and now it's Raquel and Sheena
Right.
who are on Andy's show, and it's
And it's
over
over. And Rock
because it's 3 hours later.
right.
Remember, 3 hours
And
later,
Raquel is like
and
casually on
yeah,
the phone, like taking this
and
information.
says
And
to
Sheena,
Ariana,
because Sheena, well, Sheena's like paying attention to the conversation, and she's kind of like, "What's going on?" And Raquel kind of puts down the phone and goes, "I'm on the phone with Ariana. I've been having an affair with Sandoval."
there you go,
As if it's like
putting on socks.
literally. And so of course our Shishu, has a little bit of a reaction, understandably, that involves a
Physically,
physical reaction. We've all been there, where
right?
it leaves a slight uh
Cut.
cut on Raquel's eyebrow.
Yeah, she pushed her. Is what we figured out, and we're not going
Push,
to go into
and
detail.
I think,
Pushed, and a nail hit
and
the.
I also think
Hit,
she was getting her foot, like it was like an upper push kind of to get her, like it was almost like I'm assuming
pushing her
like a
phone out of the
whack,
way.
like almost like a
All right.
like a fuck out of here kind of thing. She's from
Right.
Azusa. I know what she's doing. So and so
Jesus. Oh
now to
man.
get into basically the after this whole unfolds, kind of the next day, and like how everyone is getting through this, right?
Okay. So now everybody kind of,
Everyone
I guess
knows James is one of the
now
first
everybody
people
knows.
or no, he's not, but he's one of the first people to kind of like get like, because he gets the text message from Ariana and he starts calling everyone. And I love, we don't like James Kennedy that much, I know, but I will say, if any guy in that group is with the girls in terms of like gossip and anything like that, it's James Kennedy. He is a chismosa.
Well,
He likes the tea.
not because he believes it, because he knows it's a benefit to him to
No,
be
yeah, I
that
don't think
way.
he's a good person, but I think he likes, but so
Right.
he was like, he knew to call Sheena instead of Ariana, right, to get the scoop.
So smart, man, because she knew when Sheena got a
Right,
hold of it, baby, it was going to go out
exactly.
there.
So it's like that's the direction he went, and then
So now what happens
yeah,
is that the next scene
it's at the
is
house.
Tom and Ariana at their house.
And you can tell, of course, they've had a long night, right? None of it,
The cat's out of the bag.
filmed,
The cat's
right?
out of the bag.
But
Right.
it's like the camera crew just got there. That's like what we're picking up on. It's like the camera crew just got there, and it's basically like them like, okay, we're gonna be basically having this conversation again, but like this is gonna be for this. And so it's him in the kitchen, and it's her sitting on the couch, and I'll say this. Of course, she probably had camera makeup on, but not like general makeup, like not the eye makeup or anything, no contour.
Yep.
She still looked so good, and like her face was still kind of glowing, and it was
Yeah.
almost like a curse of art has already been lifted off of her. You know what I mean?
No. And she says to Tom, Tom says to her, is there anything I can get
For you to die.
And what did she
For
say?
you to die.
Yeah, for you to die. I mean, right off the bat. Right?
And personally, like I love that she gets to talk this way, because I know I can't. Like if I've always had it like be like, I like watching someone get to do the things you've never gotten to do because you've had to be a bigger person in the past. You know what I mean? And so the fact that I get to see this is so cathartic. But yeah, just for you to die. And then she goes, you still haven't actually said sorry, which is so Sandoval. And this entire time, right? I'm not trying to skip ahead, but this entire time, we have yet to hear him truly say, I'm sorry, and what I did was wrong. He's implied it, but every single time he's even implied it, it's been but.
Well, the problem is he doesn't mean it. So that's
of course, and you see it in his face. He's not actually. He doesn't get sad or remorseful. He has his like angry brows on the whole time, which is a mix of Botox, but yeah.
Well, he basically blames her. He basically says to her, "I've been trying to tell you this for months and months and months and months, and you're not hearing me." Okay, that's what he's trying to say. Which is absolute bullshit. Okay, she said, "Look, hey, even if that's true, we could have gone to couples therapy. We could have tried to resolve this thing, but no. It sounds like." So he says, "Oh, I have found something in Raquel. She's a support system." And then she
The name, like
says,
mentioning, and honestly, she's so valid for having that reaction because if just him bringing up her name pissed me off too. And so I love,
yeah.
I don't care about Raquel. Like such a beautiful, there's a ferocity in her in this episode that I just love seeing in her.
Oh no, she got down and she says to him, "You're worth
Y-
nothing. Hear my
yes, you're
words. I
ever
regret
loving
ever
you. You
loving
are
you."
worthless. You are, and oh god. And then of course the whole time, if he had real remorse, right, hearing the person you've loved for 10 years say that would kill you. You'd be so sad. He was looking at her still with that angry face, right? Almost like
Yeah,
almost
but
like
wait a minute.
so angry that she gets to be a victim, right?
Yeah, but
That
guess
he
what? Guess
doesn't.
what? This is the first time he cries in this
Oh,
episode. He
one of
cries.
five.
He cries. He's not crying because of her. He's crying because he got caught.
And now he knows the the act that he's put on this entire time of being this moral ground, being the guy that screams accountability, right? Everything just blew up back in him and he looks like the world's
Yep.
hugest hypocrite.
Yep. Next scene.
So now we get to
He's at Tom's. He's at
Schwartz.
Tom's Schwartz's apartment, and this
And
is great.
this is almost worse acting than when they were at the Yeasty Boys cart.
Right. At
The bagel.
the bagel place,
So
right?
Schwartz, first of all, he
Says to Tom, what does he say to Tom?
one of the first things he says is like, you screwed this up for us in
No,
our
no,
business.
you're the most
Yeah, yeah.
reviled
Yeah, in
man
America.
in America.
Which
Think
is so
about
funny
that for a
because
minute.
like that sounds like a typical Schwartz exaggeration, but for once he was
Right.
right.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember who was the last person like that. There was some. Anyway, it doesn't make a difference.
I know what you're talking about, but
Yeah,
yeah.
but anyway, I mean, he is as crazy, because
Yeah.
again, listen, we talk to people that have no idea about this. We talk to people that never knew about Vanderpump Rules that know about it because it's in the news. This is a big story. So again, he is the most reviled.
And I will say this.
Man.
I will say this, and I want to say this very carefully because I in no way want this to sound like any sort of defense on Sandoval's side. I will say this is one of the biggest reactions to a cheating I've ever seen.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not saying it was unnecessary. Yeah. I'm not saying that. I love it. I love this. I love it.
Yeah.
And I'm almost glad that there is an over exaggeration to this because for so long we've kind of had this forgiveness. Like I think I said this to Ariel. I'm like, the last time I saw people this mad about a cheating scandal was like Tiger Woods. You know what I mean? Remember people when I was a kid, I almost thought he killed someone because of how people were reacting.
It was so bad. It was. No. He listen. Anyway, I thought that was a great line. Yeah. You're the most reviled. So then Tom Schwartz goes on to basically say, "You fucked us over
Which
here.
Is so
we
funny.
were 4.8 on Yelp. Now we're 1 point, and it's all.
Not
and
even
look, and I'm losing money, and I'm getting a divorce, and I have to sell a house. And look what you did.
Look what you did to me. Look what you did to me. Not
yeah.
his friend of 10 years, right? Because Schwartz and Ariana have been friends this whole time. He doesn't give a fuck about what Ariana's going through. Me.
Nope.
Why are you doing this to me? And then he actually.
I'm going crazy. I'm losing my wife. I'm losing my health.
He gets on the floor, right? Oh God, I'm gonna get sick. I think I'm gonna pass. Like he's like a damsel. Like he really.
Yeah.
He thinks, and now he's a victim to this, as if he wasn't in on it the entire time.
Tom cries once again, second time.
Like a little bitch.
Like a little bitch. Ugh. Okay. So then he says, Tom basically says that, he has a deep connection with Raquel, that after the Mondrian, that next day they went to the Abbey, they kissed. That's when they, hooked up and
boinked.
Parked the car in front of Tom and Ariana's house. Had sexual intercourse.
I just want to know what kind of car they have. Because Raquel, she's a tall glass of water.
He had a two-door BMW, like a little 3 something.
So she was like breaking her neck.
No, I don't know what specific car. It wasn't an SUV. I can tell you
Did he
that.
fold her in
And she's
half?
what, 5'10"?
Did
She's
he
five
fold
ten,
her in
right, or
half? Like,
something.
I'm confused.
Yeah, he's looking up to her. But anyway, here, so they're screwing in the car while Ariana's in the house. Then he has the nerve to ring the
Because he
doorbell.
locked
So
himself
Ariana,
out. Like, at that point, just sleep in the street.
where is the God with the
Oh,
with the
Thor
lightning
or
bolt?
Zeus? Zeus.
No, the lightning
Yeah.
bolt. I mean, come on, dude. It's bad enough what you're doing. Now you're doing it in front of your own house while you're. I mean, it's
Pathetic.
so
Yeah.
disrespectful and pathetic. And Raquel is buying every second of
Meanwhile,
it.
yeah,
Rachel.
Rachel.
Let's
Yeah,
explain about
Rachel.
Rachel.
Well,
Explain about
Rachel is her
Rachel for
real
me.
name. And now here's another thing. Again, another thing that I think is funny because it's like that's her legal name. So everyone's saying Rachel instead of Raquel. Now, I will say
Yep.
this. Raquel's a better name. It sounds nice. And if you are going to be famous and anticipate being famous, I don't necessarily see anything wrong. I don't see anything wrong with changing your name up a little bit to make it sound better. I really don't.
I don't
But
either, honey. I just think it's funny that they're calling her that
the
now.
fact that we're just using everything we can as ammo. It's
right. I mean, first of all, your sister's middle name is Raquel.
No, it's a great name.
Okay?
It's a great name. I
Right.
will say it fit Rachel pretty well, for the time being. But with this
Yes,
ratchet
yes.
behavior, she's back to being Rachel.
That's why they're calling her Rachel.
She's being such a Rachel. And you know what a Rachel is? And this is now can be established. A
Rachel from Big Brother.
Exactly.
Big Brother.
That tells you everything. They are wannabe, not actual wannabe sluts because they don't really sleep with a lot of people. And like James Kennedy says, they don't do certain things that are slutty, right? They are more on the attention-seeking side, so they're willing to do trashy things that aren't respectful to themselves or their bodies in order to get to a certain level. And to that, personally, is much worse than if she was just, sleeping with a bunch of people because she had that feeling of, she felt empowered and confident to, and, doesn't have that tie to it. But like the fact that she really believes that this could have, I don't know if she actually believes, but like she really thought that there could be a relationship.
Well, that story was. No, the story would be big enough to where she would be the star of the show.
No, the fact that like
and
later,
she ain't, and we'll talk about
and of course,
that.
the next episode, next scene is Sandoval going to her place, right?
The next scene is Ariana at the house with
the
all
girls.
the girls.
Right. And it's like it's like in Midsummer.
Katie's
they're all,
already there.
It's fun.
All right,
it's a
but
couple
anyway,
other
so they're
people
at the
that we've
house
never
together.
seen, but anyway, they're at the house. Katie's already there. Sheena is just arriving.
Walks in.
This is what I love. She comes in with a bottle of rosé and I think 2 packs of cigarettes. I could be wrong. And this has been pointed out not just online, but it's something I picked up once rewatching it. She comes in and they're all in the same hand. She hugs Ariana. When she comes back from the hug, she just has the bottle of rosé. And if you look back, it looks like someone took the cigarettes out of her hand, which I'm assuming is production because they didn't want that on screen. So Sheena and Katie, right, haven't talked since Mexico, which is Sheena's wedding that Katie was uninvited to. So this is at the level of their friendship. This is the second time that Sheena's gotten married and they've had beef, right? This is like history repeating itself. Because of the circumstances, right? They break bread. Sheena comes in,
she says, I think we can kind of, forget about our shit right now because, which was a great way of saying it.
Katie agrees. And I think still today, I could be wrong, they said they're better, right? But they're still kind of in a weird place. But because of this situation, it's helped kind of make them, because really, if you think about where that beef started, it was because Katie was mad at Sheena for trying to get Schwartz and Raquel together. Now that that's not an issue, now that Katie doesn't have that worry about, she has no problem being friends with Sheena. You know what I mean?
Wait a minute. Katie knows now that Tom was just
a
ploy and a beard for all this stuff. So she's happy that Tom really wasn't screwing around. Like
it's like that's where her head set as. It's like, oh, glad it's not me. So, and even though she's probably still pissed about the circumstances, which I would be too. I personally, if like what I think Sheena did was 100% wrong in that situation, and it was instigative. And I think both of them are just kind of always coming at each other. Sheena and Katie, they're always kind of picking at each other. So it was that. It was very irresponsible for her to do. But regardless, I think they're gonna get through this. And so that was like their initial breaking bread, beginning their piece.
So Ariana basically tells everybody what really happened. They can't even believe it.
They're like falling back from,
because she says it happened at Schwartz's house, and that's when Katie like drops over, like it's about her again.
Well,
my God.
No. Yes, but also I think it's a feeling of like not responsibility, but in a way, even though her and him are separated, it's almost like, God, he was doing this too. Like he was part of this too.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong, but okay. Well, anyway, the point of it is is that she tells them the whole story. Everybody's shocked at the whole thing, right? And so now, and Sheena basically says what she did to Raquel that night.
Yeah.
And basically says, I couldn't have done what she thinks because my nails, they were too long.
And Raquel was, it's proven Raquel was lying about her black eye because she didn't have a black eye during that time. She used pictures from her nose job or whatever.
Right. It
was a cut.
All right. Next scene is James and Ellie at their house. And he's pissed off at Sandoval, of course.
And he says,
all right. And James starts crying. Crying. He starts crying. Okay. But anyway, so now Katie and Lala come over to their house. He said something
about them touching peepees, right? That was like, you guys are going to touch peepees now?
Yeah. No, you're a pussy. I mean, he went. All right. So now, Lala claims there were rumors about Billy and Tom.
Yes. And again, not a reliable source, but Jax has confirmed it. I believe it.
I mean, wouldn't surprise me.
Well, no, and also Billy from the start, and listen, this is almost every friend who's become a cast member of the show, so I'm a broken record here. Billy was clearly trying to just, get her in any way she could. You know what I mean? And every storyline that could be created, she, went into. And so she liked being friends with all the enemies because it didn't work with the main girls. You know what I mean? So yeah. I see that. And also,
whatever. It's possible. Who knows? Who cares?
She slept
who
over.
Knows who
There's
cares?
There's no way she slept over and something didn't happen. You know what I mean? Because with her and James, that was another rumor. But anyway.
Then James, with Lala being there, Katie being there, Ellie being there, he calls up Raquel.
Which I can't
even. He calls up Raquel.
He did. I can, but I can't.
I can't believe she answered, except production told me you got to answer.
I was just about to say that. Yeah, I think they set that phone call up.
So tell me about that.
Of course, he's just he's almost enjoying the fact that he gets to go in on her about it. And I think that's when he says, they're like, oh, you guys want to touch peepees or something like that. He says, you guys want to touch peepees, which is, I think.
With that old 40-year-old cock, he says.
No,
is that what he says?
So
an
close,
old 40
it's
stinky cock.
No, oh my God.
Smelly
right?
cock.
It was something along those lines. It was like, but I again, hate to say this, and it has to do with being British. James's insults are so funny.
No, they are.
He doesn't even know it.
He's not trying to be they're funny to us. They're not funny to the English.
But it's because he's so pissed. He's saying the most absurd thing he can, and it's hilarious. You know what I mean?
And Raquel's sitting there, which of course I get because production's asking her to answer the phone. But she's like, so go ahead.
I don't even, I hate to say it, I don't even remember most of the conversation because it was like 2 minutes.
So basically he said, you're trash. Yeah. You're trash. And he was happy, of course, that, this was going on. And do you know what you've done? You and the people that loved you and stuck up for you are the people that you've done this against.
And, okay, can we talk about
blah, blah, blah.
How
and then
James Kennedy has defended Katie better than Schwartz has their entire relationship.
Well, okay, that is only for
Again, Dad,
convenience because
it doesn't
what he
matter. It
said to
doesn't matter.
Katie,
All I'm saying is the words that he has said, not just this episode, but in the reunion, have just acknowledged Katie's
yeah,
how Katie's been affected, which Schwartz hasn't
I
even been
I,
able
I
to do,
understand.
which by the way, you can easily bullshit. You know what I mean? He won't even give her that
Again,
respect. So the fact that James Kennedy is more respectful than like that, if you have to see it that way, and James Kennedy said it himself when Andy asked him, "Are you the number one guy in the group now?" He goes, "I mean, yeah, but look at who I'm working with. It's not even that much of a reward." You know what I mean?
there are no
Yeah,
guys in the group.
right.
Who's there? I mean, we don't even know who's coming back and who will come
I don't
back and
even
who
want to
wants
think
the show
about
to come
that. I
back
don't even want to think about that.
and what the fans will do if all right. Anyway, all right. So now after that, Tom goes to
Raquel. Rachel.
Raquel's, walks into the apartment. The first thing is they do a shot.
Yeah.
It's like, what I mean? And then they get into it. Okay. So
So
talk to
of
me.
course it's immediately both of them like, well, we know what we did was wrong, but we're not liars, and they don't understand, and they have zero chemistry. There is it's like it's almost like they were, I mean, it's like they were casted on a show, to and
Yeah.
and and
Yeah.
he she
James had more chemistry with Raquel than
exactly.
Tom did.
And so,
And that's pretty
he's
sick.
oh my god, yeah. No, I every time like she talks about James, I'm like, I don't even understand how you can say those words out of your mouth. But of
Right.
course it's poor them, they're victims in this. They know.
They can't kiss.
Yeah,
They can't
they
kiss in
can't
front
kiss
of the
him.
camera.
Yeah,
They
they
say
can't
on
do
the
that.
camera.
But then they
He
start bringing up the parents, right? They're bringing up,
there you go. Yeah.
he she says that her family's pissed, right? And then
Yep.
she starts to ask him, are your like is your mom? And then she's like, never mind, because she sees his face, kind of like, don't bring that up. And so then
Yeah.
there's kind of a pause, and he goes, she loves you, almost like, or they love
They
you, they
love
love
you.
you.
They love
and
you.
and, and he says it like he has to say it to reaffirm her,
Yeah.
but also knowing what that means to say on camera, knowing that not just like Ariana will hear that, but everyone will hear that. And Raquel
Yep.
hears, I love you, and she goes, I love you too,
Right.
which is so humiliating,
Whoops.
right? And he goes, I said they love you, but and then he knows he has to say it. And so then he says he loves her, and she like buries her face into him, and it's the most uncomfortable. It's like watching that like really nerdy couple make out in the corner that like makes everyone uncomfortable. Like, it's just, is that allowed? No, thank you.
Anyway, that was just
Tragic.
really completely
Yeah.
unappetizing. That whole scene with him and her, it was just like, um,
Sickening.
what's the word? Like
Juvenile.
anyway, that's well, all right. Next thing you know, and we know where this is
Mm-hmm.
going. Tom goes to Lisa's house. Another cry, but I'm talking about an anxiety cry, a losing your
Temper
breath
tantrum.
cry. So he goes into the house. He's holding a can of soda, by the way, which is so rude to walk into somebody's house with
Yeah.
something like that. Lisa comes down the stairs, no
No,
hugging,
no.
no nothing, and she starts going
Which
in on him.
I wouldn't call it even going in, because yeah.
Well,
Well, Lisa
at
kind of
first,
gives him the look, and is like, basically, yeah, that's bad. Like, what are you gonna do about it? And then, of course, he starts getting into it, and Lisa, of course, in her nature, because obviously in the back of her mind, this is only making her show, her job, everything better, right? Um, she, of course, uh, I think she asked like a couple of dumb questions, and then does comfort him in some ways. She does provide a comfort, and it has been expressed by Ariana, Lala, and many others of like, Lisa really didn't have that much of a reaction to it, as much as we would expect from someone
yeah,
who has attempted to look like a mother figure.
Yeah, no, and he basically says that, Raquel and him are going to tell Ariana, that was the
Yeah,
next
she asked
step.
like, why didn't you do it before? And of course she says, well, that's why you do. Like she pulls the whole like, you break up first, and
Well, of course, but the long and the
it was
short of
kind of
it
a
is
bullshit
is
conversation
he really
in the
cries this
corner.
time. This is the third time now. It's an uncontrollable cry.
I don't think I cried like that
Uncontrollable,
when I was a
right?
baby.
Right, exactly. All right. So now the
Him and
next thing
Sheena.
is yeah,
So next
what
he
happened
goes
to my
to
notes here?
Sheena's.
Oh yeah, that was
And
something
this
there. That
and
was
this in my
something there.
opinion is the appropriate friend reaction, because mind you, Sheena and him have known each other longer. Uh and you know, th- yeah,
14
they have
years.
a pretty, like, they've always had a solid friendship in terms of they've never had a
A
falling
lot of
out, right?
history.
They very
A lot of
forgiving of each
history.
other. They kind of do the people pleasing thing where they give, 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 give. So I think they kind of do that with each other, where it's like, this is my little
Yeah.
bestie. So Sheena was really hurt by this. And she, gets very emotional, just speaking about it, understandably. And she kind of basically breaks it down of like, there's no reversing this. You screwed up this relationship. She didn't center herself, but she basically implied like, you're ruining our friendship too. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh no, she
yeah,
said we're
yeah, yeah.
not friends
But like
anymore.
the
She's
way
actually
she
said.
didn't make it seem all about her. It was just like,
No,
you
no, no,
really
right.
just screwed this all up. And she was, and he got again, he cries again, but
Fourth time in
again,
the
it's almost like
episode.
she has more remorse and emotion, right, in this than even
Yeah.
does.
Yeah. Well, I think she's
Yeah,
disappointed in him,
she
and I
has
also
guilt.
think
She has
she's
guilt.
thinking, "Wow, if anybody could make it through these years, it
Them,
would be them." And then I think she looks at her own marriage
exactly.
and go, "Well, I'm happy. I
And
hope."
then
But
also,
anyway,
and
yeah,
then
you're
also it
right.
makes her
So
probably think of a lot of other things, saying things like she trusts Brock and Rachel to be together, like in a bed, which was,
that was a good.
I think,
That was a
probably
good one.
Sheena has.
I know
I
what she
do, but
meant.
it's like you are manifesting that by saying it. You are literally telling
Listen,
people like this is a potential thing to happen by saying that.
it can. First of all, it could fall in at that point. Okay, even by not trying. So I mean, come on, man.
You
You
can't say
cannot
that.
say I'm going to do
You
it.
can't say that shit.
All right. All right. Listen, we got to now go
The reunion.
do the
Yeah.
sit down, the
Yeah.
reunion. Let's run through the
Yeah.
reunion. First of all, everybody comes on. It's obvious that nobody's saying
Yeah.
hello to
Sandoval.
Sandoval,
Well, and he's
right?
they're holding him back. Like they're letting everyone come in first, right?
Right. But
They're
anyway,
all rolling in.
before that, they show Sandoval, Raquel, and Ariana before a day before the reunion, and basically Tom says, are you ready? Well, I'm not ready. He's all
Yeah.
crying, and then they ask Ariana. She says, well, I've been better. I'm better the last 2 weeks than I've been before.
Yeah. She's saying she's ready for this, and she's kind of like been able to go through it the past couple of weeks.
Right, and then
And then Raquel, is like staring blankly, into the.
right, exactly.
And it's like she, again, no fear, no. And I'm not saying she should be scared of these girls, but it's like, how are you not that scared about your reputation?
Well, again, what I don't understand is by this time she must have been able to analyze along with her team.
Right. What's gonna go? What's
This
gonna
this
happen
could
from
be
me?
a problem for you
Yeah.
financially.
Yeah.
And so for her not to, now again,
They could have also
this sit
told her.
down, she
They
wasn't
could have also
involved.
told her though. They could have also told her, because the scandal is so big, you're gonna take off. You know what I mean? Even though she's the bad guy, unfortunately, and a lot of people don't like talking about this. The cancel culture myth. People who get canceled, or people who are villains in the media, end up getting a like because they're so recognized, whether even if it's in it for a bad reason, they get so many more, whether it's deals, jobs, situations where they're in front of a camera and have to get paid again because people want to
Yeah.
hear from them, even
Yeah,
again
no, no,
because
no,
they're
I
bad
agree.
people.
Right.
And it's like
I just
that's probably
can't
what they
even.
told her.
I'm not a producer. I'm
Yeah,
not smart enough to understand what the best thing for the show to
she's
do.
easily
But
manipulated, so I can
I
see
would think
them.
the best thing for the show to do is to keep Sandoval around
Yeah,
and to keep Raquel around.
yeah, which is
That's the
what again
best
what
thing
they're
the
probably
show could do
telling
because
her.
that's what we want to see.
Right,
Even though maybe our hearts would say, kick them off. We don't want to see these two anymore. No, we
right.
do want to see them.
We need to see
So,
what's going on.
now here's what I heard, by the
Mhm.
way. Can't remember where I heard it, but it was, they were talking about, what Ariana was doing, the commercials she was making.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think she had a $600,000 deal with Bravo for next season.
Wouldn't
Six hundred
surprise me.
thousand.
Would not surprise me. It really wouldn't.
Now, how many episodes they have? 12? I don't know. 12 a season?
I want to say more than 15. I want to say almost 20, but not 20.
All right. Well, wait a minute. 20 into 600 is
Maybe I'm wrong. I
that's
just remember when I go
That's
through.
30,000 an episode,
Yeah,
which she deserves to
which
get.
sounds about right. Yeah,
30,000 an episode.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That sounds about
All
right.
right. Anyway,
Yeah,
so
no, it
so
makes
so
sense.
the sit down.
So
We don't
yeah,
have to
so
go
and by
step
the
by
way, she
step.
comes. Yeah,
But
she comes in, looks great. Everyone's acknowledging she looks hot in her dress. Her body looks great. I think what makes that dress is the body you
yeah,
have, and she looks
yeah.
killer. And then of course, this is my favorite thing because Raquel right has a cease and desist for Sheena. They put her in a trailer exactly 100 yards away,
Yeah. Probably to the
which I'm
probably to
sorry,
the inch.
that is literally it's one of the most comical shots I've seen on reality TV because it's just the trailer and it just says Raquel's trailer exactly 100 feet away from Sheena.
And she's wearing like a sweater. In other words, she's not
Yeah,
dressed up
yeah.
for the episode.
Not yet, yeah, because it's like not her
Right,
turn.
but she's just dressed in a
she's still in
and she's reacting to the show as the show
right,
progresses.
which she barely reacts to anything at all. You know what I mean?
Right.
But the one thing she reacted to, which I love, was when I think Sheena was talking about Ariana and Tom's relationship and talking about how they were still intimate and things were going well.
In January,
and,
by the way. This was in
Yeah,
January.
when things were still happening. And Raquel goes, like a dog, right?
Yeah.
Who's trying to listen,
Oh.
and it's almost like
You mean
and
he was screwing
like,
her at the same time? That's
like
unbelievable. I can't believe that.
when you find out the man you're cheating with is cheating on you back.
Right.
You know what I
Oh,
mean?
wait. Remember in that conversation with Raquel and Tom at Raquel's house, one of the things she said was, I don't know if I can trust you because you may cheat on me too. And Tom says the typical thing, oh, I wouldn't do that to you. You know what I mean? Like, oh, to other people I would, but no, that's huge.
Just when you piss me off.
So after that scene, as you know, the claim is she turned off her phone and she went, and we have no real idea where she actually is.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
And we don't even know if
which is how you piss off a production and why they put her in a trailer rather than bringing her in the first episode.
Well, I don't know if the production knows or not where she is, but
no. I'm saying because she pulled that shit with them and the restraining order and all of that. That's why they put Sheena in the first episode and put Raquel in the trailer.
Oh, no, they had to. No, I get it. I mean,
I'm just saying.
Now remember, that TRO was approved already by that time. It wasn't just,
I know.
So that was approved. Okay. What we don't know, because the second episode, they're showing us the trailers. Mm-hmm. They're handing something to Sheena that Sheena just starts crying.
Yeah, so I'm not even gonna try and guess it. It's probably related. I don't know. I have no idea. We're gonna have to see what that is. But
let's go
backtracking. So when Sandoval gets in, right? When they finally bring him in, it's like a WWE, right? They film it from the back, and him and and the crew walking in. You know what I mean? And so he's walking in, and the daggers. Well, Ariana can't even look at him, but the daggers from everyone else, it's so you can feel it through the screen. And so Andy kind of acknowledges the tension. We're asking how we're doing and everything, And once Tom starts to speak about how he's doing, he starts crying. James, pull yourself together, man.
Lala. They all started talking. They just started
James,
talking at him. You're a pussy.
So
you're a worm with a mustache. He gets
that
up.
Was later. That was later.
I know,
that
but I'm
later.
saying,
wait.
yeah, this is the comments he was making to Tom.
I just love that immediately. He couldn't even get a sentence in. As soon as he starts crying, they all start going.
I mean, they went in really fast. They hardly.
It was beautiful.
He didn't even take a breath.
No, it was beautiful.
And did you see the look on his face? The look.
Oh my God.
Of
I can't even look at him for too long. I really can't.
No, because it does remind me of Adolf Hitler. I'm sorry. He reminds me of Adolf Hitler.
Honestly, and you're not far-fetched.
I'm telling you.
Is structural-wise, he has a very intense structure to his face, and there's no soft features that make him look.
And that little mustache.
Kind.
That little.
There's no kindness. And his thin lips, his he's just, he's a little creature. So, so you bring up him and James almost now get in a physical. And of course, James understands that no one's going to let him touch Tom. So he thinks he could huff and puff and come over to him, right?
Because Tom would kick his ass.
What I do know, yes, Tom would leave marks. What I imagine a real fight between James and Tom would be like two girls pulling their hair. No. You know what I mean? Like it's just kind of like
it would be James pulling hair and Tom throwing blows and kicking James' ass.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't see Sandoval. I don't know. I see him fighting. Like I know he's been in fights and I know he has his anger problems, right? But I don't see him having any skill.
I'm telling you, he can fight decently, and I'm telling you, in my opinion, he would kick James' ass. Yeah, but we'll see. Whatever. I only hope it should happen.
We'll see one day. Like, please, please, God.
Hey, they want to make money. So, you know what? If Tom Sandoval wants to make money,
throw him in a ring.
They have those, these fights that celebrities do sometimes. Right. These crazy, ridiculous fights. You know what I'd like to see, even though it's never going to happen? 50 Cent and Randall. One shot, Randall be down. Anyway, all right. God. So go ahead. So now
he couldn't even he wouldn't even be able to make it up to get in the ring. Okay, he's a piece of shit. But yeah, so basically, they start getting in this little fake, we're gonna fight match, and then Andy of course pulls. And Andy's like, stay in your seat, right? And James can't even handle that, right? Because Andy goes, stay in your fucking seat, like just stay there. And
my
James
cards dropped. My car. Andy's my cards dropped.
My cards dropped. That was cute. But yeah, and so James needs a breather. He's like, I need to go to the bathroom. And then that's when he turns back. You're a pussy. You're a bitch. You're a worm with a mustache.
Doesn't Tom say to James that you had to fuck Kristen to get on the show? Didn't he say that? I believe he did. Yeah, I got it in my notes, so I think I heard him say that.
If so, that's the best thing that's ever come out of his mouth.
Yeah, because it's true.
It's true. It's true. And I will say that's the only ammo he had in that situation. You know what I mean? In terms of like what that was. But yeah, so he calls him a worm with a mustache, which again, unfortunately is genius. A perfect description. And like what I like about that description, it's implying that the mustache almost is giving something to him. It's like that's the only characteristic that and then he got rid of it. He got rid of the mustache.
He did get rid of it.
And now he looks even worse than, not that he looked good before, but it's like somehow even more perverted without a mustache.
There's one thing we forgot about. Mm-hmm. That's really important.
Okay.
When Tom went over to Katie's house, Katie interrogated him and got him to say, but wait, and then on the sit down, so tell the folks about that.
So which by the way, love how Katie, it was so funny. It was like she was disciplining a dog. She goes, how long have you known about this? And he goes, I don't want to get into logistics and, I don't really know exactly and bullshits an answer, And she goes, no. Like, no.
Wrong boy.
That is wrong. Yeah. Try again. You know what I mean? And then he finally ends up spitting the truth. But it's so,
it was a one-time thing in August. It was 7 months, like we all said. So one-time thing in August, but nothing was really going on after that. And I didn't know.
Yeah, which everyone knew was a lie.
Sit down,
at the sit down. So then Andy asks him, and he goes, "How long have you known?" And he goes, "Since late."
July or something?
No, late August or late October, something. Some it
I
was
think he
last
said
year, and
July.
then no,
Whatever.
it was regardless. It was that time
Right.
period, and Sandoval goes, "What?" And Lala goes, "Oh, did you guys not put your timelines together?
I mean, this
Like,
is how
did you forget to do that?"
stupid.
So stupid. And so then Santa goes, "I thought you know it until you did in January," and that's so they got caught in that lie, knowing that and here's their problem, both of them, the Toms. They are so self-centered and so narcissistic that they are stupid. They forget any awareness that they have, and realize that maybe previously their lies have worked, from because whoever they're dealing with doesn't really care to go into it further, right? But they are now telling on themselves. They can't even keep track because they are so self-involved. They have no they're so out of touch with reality, and I get it. Anyone on these types of shows are, hence the irony of being called a reality show. But I mean, it's out of this world, and it's hilarious and personally cathartic to watch them dig their own graves.
Okay. In conclusion,
To conclude,
so, we understand it's a reality show. We understand some of it isn't
yes,
true. Some of it is true. Yeah, whatever. But look, here's what
yeah,
we know. There's no question in my mind that Tom Sandoval, besides just being an asshole, okay,
right,
and besides being a people pleaser for his own benefit, is
yes,
really his worst characteristic is he's a narcissist, like you say.
yes,
Okay,
yeah. And
that's
I
his.
wouldn't be surprised if it was like clinical
Oh yeah,
level.
no, I think it is.
It's probably more socialized than like chemical. You know what
Well,
I mean?
his
It's like
father
a
repeats everything Tom says. The few times his father's in the show,
oh
whatever Tom
yeah,
says, the
yeah,
father
yeah,
says. Whatever the father says, Tom says. Look,
yeah,
so
yeah,
it's
yeah.
okay. Raquel, excuse me,
Mm-hmm.
Raquel will do anything that it takes, and I mean literally anything
Anything,
to
literally
to
anything.
get famous.
Well, not give James a blowjob, but
Right, right. Well, she got away with that. She got away with that
yeah.
for how many years? 5 years they were together. Yeah.
I, he actually thought saying that would make her look worse than
Well,
him.
here's the thing. He talks about Tom's stinky little cock or
Yeah,
smelly
yeah,
little
yeah, yeah.
cock or whatever.
He says like,
So in other words, hey James, maybe you weren't
yeah,
cleaning up down there. You know what I mean? Maybe that's the reason, dude.
no.
Because I bet
People
you she's
always
get
tell
blowing Tom.
exactly. Well, no, and that's my point. People always tell on themselves based off of the specific insults that they give
They give
sometimes. James being one of
right.
them. And that's why he's so good at insulting because he knows how much of a little creep he
Yeah,
is,
yeah.
right? That he's so good at actually identifying it and then just spewing it back, projecting it onto whoever else, which is why we are not team James ever. I hate when people do the whole, "Oh, we like James now." No, we
No, we
don't.
don't.
We
He's
don't
still an
like James.
asshole. He
We
always be an
we
asshole.
just want him to keep talking. That's
All right,
it.
listen. Um, the last that you saw, the sandwich shop,
Right, which I walked by
looks
recently
like it's just about to open. Like
to open.
literally
The furniture was all there. I saw the fridges. I saw like guys working on like I would not be surprised if they were aiming for
June
first week of
1st or
June.
whatever. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like June 1st. Like because they said end of May, which by the way, any business, any new business, if you are opening within the month of you even saying around the time you're going
Yeah.
to open, like saying even if you're a month late, that's still pretty damn
What?
impressive because things always
One
go
more
wrong.
quick thing. I don't know if you caught that or not, but the woman that
Hmm.
helped them out getting those sandwiches together,
Yeah,
she was the chef that Lisa hired at
yeah,
Pump. And she was
yeah,
so much younger looking at the time. I didn't
yeah, yeah,
quite
yeah, yeah.
recognize her, but I've been watching old episodes.
And like,
Oh,
yeah,
by the way, just an aside.
I made sense. I knew she was on before because I like recognized
Oh,
her.
you did? Yeah. See, I didn't. Um,
I just didn't know how, but that makes sense.
I've cleared my recordings where I don't have one recording on my television nor one that's supposed to get recorded. see what happens is when you get to a certain amount of recordings, you fill up, and then they want you to buy a bunch of, which I
Yeah.
don't need to. So I
Well,
just
I
deleted,
I
delete, 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 delete. It took me.
I remember getting all the reminders, all the recordings when I was at home. So I'm glad to hear that you're at a better foot in life.
All right.
And with that,
Wait a minute. Did we talk about Hamburger Mary's? I don't think we did.
no, we
Let's do
didn't.
a
We'll
quick.
we'll talk about.
Oh no, you want to do it
Well,
next
yeah, we'll
time?
talk about. No, no, no. We can talk
Very
about now. So
quickly,
yeah, you
I
visited.
visited you and your sister and my son-in-law a couple
Hmm.
of weeks back. Mom and I, we had a great time. We went. All we did is what, eat. That's all we do. We go out and eat, right?
Yeah.
And but what we did, we surprised Mom the week before Mother's Day, because Mother's Day you guys were not going to see her, and we went to
Yeah.
Hamburger Mary's. They had a great drag show and lunch, and I was very impressed with the talent at that
Hmm.
drag show. It was really, really
Hmm.
very good talent, singing, dancing, funny, this and that. The food was so good. You're talking
Right.
about, 150, 200 people all at one time,
Right.
boom. And the
Right.
food was very good. The booze was a little sweet for me, but
That's the deal, though.
it,
Like that's
it, it, it
that type of
right.
environment's
It
all
was
sweet
good. It
drinks.
was good. And then, as you know, I
Yeah.
danced with one of the drag queens,
Drag
which the
queens.
whole audience went
Yes.
nuts watching this old man,
Right.
you know, dancing.
Yeah.
So that was,
No, it was a very sweet, perfect
yeah,
celebration. My idea,
yep.
because I'm the brains of the
You're the
operation, and
brains of the family.
at first when I pitched it, I remember you're like, oh yeah, good idea. Mom will like that,
Yeah,
right? Like mom's gonna
yeah,
love that. And it'll be good. And I even remember I switched seats with you, and Ariel switched seats with David so that we were closer in. And it basically implying that you weren't going to be as
right,
participatory because it's like our
right.
thing. But I loved watching as the day unfolded, you getting more into it and like eventually being a part of it. And that's why, we love drag culture. We love Hamburger Marys. And
Yeah.
now more than ever, it's important to be supportive of,
You better. Well, two things.
drag queens and just the community in
All right.
general.
First of all, best parking space ever. Literally the second parking space from the
That's
place.
right.
Okay.
Our parking lot. Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah,
let's
yeah.
talk about two things. Yes, Hamburger Mary's. Yes, we have to support the drag queens, and we're not going to Target anymore.
Yeah, fuck
We
Target.
are not buying anything from Target until they straighten their shit out.
Until they right this wrong. And also, I mean, we don't even have to get into too much, but
This is not political. This is
a fact.
This is everyday living situation. If they're going to
Yes.
try to do this to every corporation, and all these corporations are going to back down on this thing,
Right. It's going to
it's going to
be
be really, it's going to be Nazi Germany all
it's
over
already
again.
no, and it's already getting to that level of concern. So now more than ever, obviously important to support, and important to make a stand. They think they thought what would happen with Bud Light would happen to
Yeah,
them. And first of all, what happened with Bud Light should scare everyone. That should be something that's very concerning to people,
absolutely.
that we have this level of I don't get it. I don't get how people have the time in the world
It's
to
consumer
to be.
terrorism. It's consumer
Yeah, it just
terrorism.
doesn't and it's like at the end of the day,
You don't want to shop there, don't shop there. That's all. It's that simple.
yeah, it's that simple. But yeah, fuck Target. This was so stupid. I'm so glad that they're losing money right now. And
$9 billion in 4 days,
yeah,
the last I heard. And yesterday, or I don't know, whatever it was, I think it was on Friday or something like that. I haven't seen what happened. Target had an emergency meeting.
right.
Like where
So
they're
it's like
thinking, no.
they're
So
scrambling, and it's like they're
I sent an email
uh,
to our Target here, which of course
of course,
hasn't done any of this, and said, hey, look,
yeah,
I'm not shopping at your store anymore until your corporate gets their shit together. So you
right.
let them know that there's not just, remember something, 10% of the population of the United States is LGBTQ.
Yeah, no,
10%. That's over
and that's
30.
recorded. That's
Right. That's
recorded.
over
You know what
30
I mean?
million, not including people like us that are on the same team. Okay. That's a lot of
Well,
consumers.
people like you. I'm actually part of the community.
Listen to me. And listen to me. 1 hour and 29 minutes and 32
Not as
seconds. We
bad as
did
we
pretty
thought.
good, right? Considering
We had a lot to talk
Yeah,
about the
yeah.
reunion. Next week we're gonna probably get into more Selling Sunset stuff, probably because
Oh,
that's going on. So
okay,
we'll dedicate
okay.
our own thing
Let
to
me
that.
just say this. My blood pressure, as usual, is very
Oh, here we
high
go.
when I go to the doctor's office, and the
Mm-hmm.
doctor knows that. And so he takes the blood pressure, when I first get there, and then he takes the blood pressure at the end of the conversation, and then I tell him I believe it's still going to be high, and he agrees.
Yeah.
So he says, "Do me a favor." He says, "Go ahead and take your blood pressure for the next 6 days, and if it's
Mm-hmm.
under 140, you're good as gold, right?"
Mm-hmm.
So I get home, 133. All right, baby. So I went yesterday, 133. So in other words,
Mm-hmm.
my blood pressure right now is 133 over 79. Perfect blood pressure is 120
Okay.
over 80. That's
Okay.
good blood pressure. Okay.
Right.
Now, why am I?
I'm just trying to figure out where you're getting at
No,
this because
I'm.
we were talking about Selling Sunset and
Yes,
your old ass brought up blood pressure.
because Mom and I watched all but the last episode,
Okay.
and I was concerned about my blood pressure.
Your blood pressure because of how
Because
good
these
look.
women's
It's like they're walking into the
clothes,
Met Gala.
forget about, there isn't a show even remotely close to the dress.
Yeah.
What's the girl, the New York, and it was her always dressed well with the shoes, I'm talking.
Not Rachel
No,
Zoe.
no, no, way before, with the four women, and they were in New York, and big,
Sex in the City.
not
So not
what
reality
she
show. Yeah.
wore, as iconic as what those clothes were.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
this is her. This is where these women are.
Yeah.
It is unbelievable.
No, they look impeccable.
So the point of it is, Mom was a little concerned about my blood pressure now watching this show. So I watched.
I'm a 25-year-old woman and I'm concerned about my blood pressure watching that show. Yeah, no, it's ridiculous, but yeah, we're going to dedicate some time to that because there's so much to get into, but we're an hour and 30 in. We're going to have to wrap it up.
So tell the folks where they can get a hold of us.
talktayapod@gmail.com. Talk to you pod TikTok and Twitter.
Yep.
And Talk to You Podcast on Instagram.
Makes sense to me.
I think so.
I love you.
I love you.
And
I
I'll
will
talk to you. All right.
Hey, bye.
Bye-bye, honey. Okay, boo. Love you. Talk to you.
Love you. Talk to ya.